Hey guys, just got back from the gym, actually, and then did my numbers. 107,000 pounds moved by. Oh, these guys right here. See if I can do it. Look, right there. There's the ledge. And then, that probably looks pathetic. I am sorry. I wanted to talk today about what it was like being in fraternity as a gay man. And especially since I was dating one of my fraternity brothers when we joined the fraternity. And this was back when that wasn't really kosher. Oh my God. This is an interesting story. So if you want to listen, cool. If not, sorry. So my first ex-boyfriend joined TEACS, Tau Kappa Epsilon. And he was in it for a semester, and then he's like, you should join. I'm like, I don't join things. I'm really bad at joining. I don't like to be involved in stuff. I really don't. It's not good for me. If I have like walls and have to do things, it makes me anxious, which is why it's really fun at work. But, so they talked me into it. So I pledged, and we got all the way to almost initiation. And our national pulled our charter because there were too few people in the fraternity. So there were 7 of us that were like on the cusp of being or had just become TEACS. So we said, okay, we'll start our own. We don't need other people. So I got to come up with a name. I sat there and I did this huge, like, Alpha Alpha. That won't work. Alpha Beta, that won't work. Alpha Gamma, that won't work. And just went through and I said, do we want 2 or 3 letters? Everybody's like, well, I don't know. We dilly-dallied around. And I came up with Delta Phi Rho after I'd gone through a ton of paper because I was literally just writing down Greek letters next to each other until I went, Delta Phi Rho. They're like, what does that represent to you? And I'm like, difference. Delta Phi Rho. And I'm like, oh! And everybody was like, that's really good. I like that. So we founded our own fraternity. So there were 7 of us. And there was, like I said, myself and my ex and these 5 other guys who all knew but didn't say anything. It was a lot of fun. It was like the best kept secret ever that everyone knew the answer to. So it was a lot of fun. I had an interesting time because being who I am, I sat there and my first little brother, I did his book for him and gave it to him, and it was okay. By the time I got to my 3rd, then my little brother's little brother, I had to take care of him because my little brother disappeared. My last little brother is the greatest guy on the planet. I love him. Oh my God, I never see any of these people. But he was just Paul. He was in my anthropology classes. He was just really cool. And very he was just strange enough that he was like insanely cool to me. So get to his book, and I went through and I made this I don't have one. I do, but it's over there. I won't get it. Like one of those thick black books that you can buy there's no lines in it or anything. And I hand wrote out everything he needed to know from one end to the other. And there was a lot of space for him we did a thing where you'd go to the sorority houses and you'd get people to write their signatures down. So I wrote a page out for each of them, each of the sororities. I did all this stuff. It was very elaborate. And it became the template for everybody. They hated my guts. The pledge master's like, why did you do this? I said, because it's nice. It looks good. It makes me feel good. It actually has everything he needs in it, right? And they're like, yeah, but now we all have to do this. And I'm like, sorry. So it was really fun. They've since lost all of this, and that really irritates me because I made a lot of effort in that. But, so we were there until we were local. We doubled and then tripled in size. And we got a national, which was Alpha Sigma Phi. and they were pretty cool. So by the time we actually became a national, my ex was out of school, so they made him an honorary Alpha Sigma Phi, which was cool. I was in it for like a semester, and then I kind of like backed off because at that point I don't like people that much. I love people. I love individuals. I hate people. People are awful. They're a lot of work, and individuals aren't. When I'm one, I can handle you. Maybe 4 or 5. Funny story. Oh my God, I have to tell you this because this is awful. One of my fraternity brothers, we were sitting in the fraternity house and watching TV, and it was MTV. Ouch, I'm sorry. It was MTV. This is back when MTV played music videos, and Madonna came on. And he sat there, he's like, oh my God, I'd give her 2 inches of the best loving she ever had. And we all went, did you just say 2 inches? He says, 12. I meant 12. No, he didn't. That poor guy never lived that down. Oh, dear God. Oh. So we're going to fast forward a couple years. So that went well. I mean, the fraternity was great. I have a picture somewhere floating around here of me in my picture for the fraternity, for Alpha Sigma Phi. I look really good. I think I look better now. I definitely am in better shape than I was then. Then I weighed like 125 pounds. I needed to eat, and I ate like a pig. I just couldn't put on weight. Now I don't eat like a pig, and I can't get rid of this last little bit. This is alcohol right here. No, seriously. So anyway, we fast forward, we break up, me and my ex. And, one little snippet before I get to that. They sent me a nasty note, my fraternity, saying, hey, you owe us a semester's worth of money because you never paid that. I'm like, well, I really wasn't active. And they're like, well, you don't really become inactive. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I'm like, how much is it? So I look at it, and it's like $300. Nothing at the time. But I call them up, and I'm like, can you explain this to me? And the guy's like, but this is how it went. Hi, I'm looking for somebody like your treasurer or something. I need to talk about some money that you guys say I owe you. Oh, okay. Who can I say is calling? I'm like, this is my real name. And the guy in the back goes, what? I'm like, yeah, this is so-and-so. And he goes, I am your little brother's little brother's little brother. And he just started going through the entire family tree of my little brothers. My family was actually one of the biggest ones. It was awesome. So anyway, out of the 7, mine was like this huge monstrosity. It shrank back down to normal size, and I'm hoping there are still people that have to memorize my name because I'm their like ancestor, big brother thing. So anyway, so he like goes gaga, and then he's like, hey, so-and-so, whoever the treasurer was, hey, actually he called the president, hey, you need to take this call. He hands it over, and the guy's like, hi, who is this? And I told him my name. He's like, hi, what is it that's going on? And I explained it, and he's like, well, you know, and he was giving me this, and I says, I'm going to pay you. I just wanted to know what it was. Do you guys need anything else? And they're like, no. It was so cute how they were. Like I was this big person, and I'm like, dude, I'm just a person that owes you money. Then we're going to transport a couple years. My ex and I broke up. It was rather not fun because there was a part of me that was like, I broke up with him. So it was not mutual on both our parts. It was me saying, I'm done with your shit. I will do an episode on this, vlog on it. It was bad. So I think I've already talked about it, but so the conversations that I had with people in my fraternity afterwards, they were basically blaming me for the breakup. And when I was, like, hey, my world just collapsed on me, they said, you did this to yourself. And I'm like, oh, okay, you're siding with him. Good riddance. So I basically just walked away. But it wasn't because I was happy with them. We're going to transport years and years later, and it was like 3 years ago. That feels directionally correct. My ex's husband passed away, which was sad. And stupid me, because let's be honest, felt compassionate. And so I went up to Michigan for the funeral. Drove up, went to the wake, and then to the funeral. So at the wake, yeah, I had to deal with my ex and his bitch mother. God in heaven. Oh, I hate that woman. His dad, I loved his dad, but his dad passed away at that point. His dad was so cool. His mom was just dreadful. So had to deal with her, had to deal with our former friends, our former mutual friends that were now his, because, the blood is dead. That is, I mean, calling it bad, it's poisonous, it's toxic. I was okay. When I walked away, I had 0 friends. And I was pretty good. Well, I can't say that. That's not a true statement. Keith and Kristen, I kept them. And they kind of were like between us, but they slowly, my ex was not. So I go to this funeral, and I go to the wake, and the wake was okay. And I saw some fraternity brothers, and we all chit-chatted. And they all looked at me like, well, what do you want? And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm good. I'm going to go stand over here with people I know that I don't really care for anymore. And I did that. And then the next day was the funeral. And I walk in with my mom and my sisters and one of my nephews. Because, we don't really... It was support for me, but it was also to say to him that, yeah, you were once part of our lives, and we feel bad for you. So I walk in, and there's this little covey of guys. There was like maybe somewhere between a dozen and a score of guys, young guys, all in suits, standing there. And I walk up, and I just stand there like looking around like, okay, there's a lot of people here. And I heard, oh my God, do you know who that is? And they all turn as a unit and stare at me. And they're all like, I've never heard of him coming to anything. I felt so big. I felt very seen in the world. It was really weird. And I went in and sat down and did my, my duty as the ex when your ex's spouse passes away. Was kind, hugged him. One of the friends that really aligned with him comes running up to me like, oh, AJ, and I'm like, hi. And she stopped and gave me this look like, wait a minute, you don't like me, do you? No. Oh. Yeah, she backstabbed me pretty hard, and I forgive a lot of things. No, I don't. I let you go. Let's be honest. So, she turned around and went away, and that was great for me. But I sat there and I'm looking at all these people who were my brothers in name. And I was like, I think I'm good. So just an FYI, my ex used our fraternity as his personal harem. And my fraternity is very gay friendly. So there was a lot of guys that went through his not so good hands. We'll go with that. Anyway, so fun story. I am sorry that I dragged my ex through the mud, but I'm good. Oh, fraternities are fun. Like I said, Alpha Sigma Phi and Lambda Chi Alpha are like the gayest fraternities at Central. I love the guys from Lambda Chi Alpha. They were all so cool. And it was kind of nice that there's like these two fraternities aligned in being very gay friendly, gay open, and gay positive. And I'm pretty appreciative of that. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, it was a similar story, just that it was a lot rougher for the other fraternities if you were gay. So I'm glad things are different for everybody. If you have a chance and you're at Central Michigan University, check out Alpha Sigma Phi. If you walk in and say, "Hi, I know one of your founding fathers, the one that's called HA," yeah, you will probably have somebody go, "You do? That would be funny." I love you guys. Please do that if you have the chance. I love you, dude. Talk to you soon. Bye.